One kind of data that people need to use to train the AI models is visual data. So you can sell that because people are actually buying data sets.
Right.
So you in your corner can sit down and say, I am going to just keep recording video after video after video of people doing certain actions, and you can sell it.
How does marketing continue to shift business, influence culture, and grow brands? To get insights on these and many other questions, we had the privilege of attending the IMC Conference, which was themed Marketing is Business. In this IMC Conference series, we spoke to creative industry thought leaders where we asked them some of the most pressing business questions. For actionable insights which can shift your brand communication, stay tuned.
And now, still at the IMC conference, we are joined by Dr. Gillian Hammah, the Chief Marketing Officer of AI Data, recognized as a top 50 CMO in Ghana. Thank you so much for joining us after your talk.
You are most welcome. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you. So, your talk was titled People or AI, the business decision facing marketers today.
Yes.
It's usually said that it's both, but what's your take?
My take is that, it's definitely a blend of people and AI, but I would add that it's more about people who know how to use AI and then AI, not people who no longer know how to use AI or who are not kind of keeping up with the times.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
people will get left behind.
So, as somebody who works in agency, I talk a lot with CMOs,
Okay.
with marketing directors who are, on the one hand, conversations are some agency rates are being cut back because of the use of AI. And of course, you're saying it's not either or, it's both. And as we increase, as agencies, we increase the use of AI, rates get cut and we lose talent. How do we balance this?
So I think for agencies and for other businesses as well, there has to be a shift in how pricing is done. So the whole pricing model has to change where it needs to be now that you're pricing based on value, not on people that you're
Right.
bringing to the table or the hours it is taking you to complete the task. Because everybody knows that AI is speeding things up.
Yeah.
So if it used to take you 12 hours, you can now do it in 2. So if people feel like they're paying you for your time, they will count the time and they will want to discount it because of AI.
Yes.
But if people feel that the value that you are bringing is still the same or even enhanced,
Right.
then I'm charging you based on the value I'm giving you. I'm not charging you based on whether I'm using one person or a team of 10 or taking 10 hours or 1 hour. I'm bringing something to the table. And so that's how the pricing models will need to change going forward, particularly for agencies
Yes.
like yours.
A difficult one when deals and pitches and things like that are set out, and sometimes they would say, how much do you charge for this talent per hour, that thing per hour? So to come in as an agency, you're almost on the back foot because this is the person paying the bills, this
Yeah.
is the brand that's paying the bills. How do we broach that conversation?
It's that thing of, I think now we need to have a conversation with clients around what value are you looking for from me? So what are my KPIs? My KPI is not how many hours it will take me to do the job. The KPI is you want me to deliver a campaign for X reason or Y reason. If I deliver it, and that's what I'm charging you for.
Sure.
So that whole narrative has to change. Or else, to your point, you will find that now people are almost negotiating with you and trying to negotiate down every single thing that you do because they're saying AI can do it quicker or faster. But no, the value that I'm bringing is what is counting. So it's that whole conversation needs to change. And I think what will have to happen is at the industry association level, you will need to have like the advertising bodies, the advertising
yeah.
agencies, now re-educating the public to say, you know, it's about value. This is what we're doing. And so it needs to happen at that level versus one single agency saying, hey, guys, you know, come on. Because they will leave you and they'll go to the next one that they feel they can bargain with.
Yes.
So you need an industry conversation as well as the companies then need to be able to step in to that conversation too.
One of the things that comes up time and time again, and I think it was coming up a lot more 2 years ago, a year ago, less than it is now, when everybody was sort of, or at least the masses were adopting generative AI, was what's Africa's stake here? Like, firstly, what are we bringing to the table? Are we adequately represented? And we just had a conversation now with Stacy from Cantor, with whom we're talking about now synthetic data coming into the research space, which means instead of asking Africans what they want from a customer perspective, we're kind of using synthetic data to make some of these things, these
about
assumptions,
us,
right?
yes.
Where does this put us as Africa in the marketing conversation? And I'm saying, you know, Africa very broadly, because again, Africa is not a country. It should be for each country and for each territory and all of these things. But on a broad scale, where does it put us?
So I think what Africa will need to do as a collective and as individual countries, they need to take ownership of the conversation. So people will feel like they have the license to do synthetic data that they think represents us.
Yeah.
But if we are not countering it with actual data and owning that, that's the problem. So there is this huge opportunity across Africa for data.
Yes.
And so if there are African companies, African individuals, people who can step in and say, I am going to now get this data that reflects the country that I'm in, that reflects the people that are here, and now make this data available, that's when we get to come to the table. But sitting down and saying somebody is creating synthetic data that is not really reflective of who we are, but at the same time we're not doing anything to counter it, that's the problem. So part of it will be, we need to step into the conversation. We need to step up and start saying, here's the data that actually reflects us.
Yes.
But that is one of our biggest challenges as a continent. We don't have data. Our data is in such bad state because we don't collect it well, we don't store it well. There are all of these things. So there's a whole data cleaning and restructuring that needs to happen, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
And the opportunity is there for us to do it.
Yes.
When we do it, we begin to change the conversation.
It's changing the marketing landscape. It's changing how sort of marketing and communication is really put out there and the work that we put in. But at the same time, is it making it better?
Well, better is relative. let me
yes.
say that. I think it's helping in some ways, but at the same time, like I think I feel like we're still at the beginning of the opportunity. That's what I feel like. Yes, the more developed nations have taken steps; they're further ahead, which even makes the opportunity for us bigger and better if we step in and own it. And that's what I feel like, that's the wake-up call now, where let's really embrace AI. Let us not run from it. Yesterday, just as a really quick example.
Sure, no, go for it.
Yesterday I was in an Uber and I was talking to the guy about the conference and what I was going to be talking about. And his response was, well, you know, so if AI can do the things, then they should just let the employees stay home and still pay them. And I'm like, no, that's not the right, that's not the right
that's the
thought
perfect
pattern
life.
at all. Yeah, like seriously, why should you want somebody to pay you to stay home, but they should still use the AI? It's okay. But no, so there is better. but I feel like we need to step in and own it. And that's for me where the opportunity is. We can seize the opportunity or we can wait for somebody else to do it. My advice is let's seize it and let's call our friends and our family and say, guys, let's pool together and let's start putting at stake. There's so much in the AI landscape that needs to be done
Yes.
across Africa. The opportunity is huge. And not everything requires Mark Zuckerberg kind of money. No, there's a lot that can be done at the grassroots
Right.
level. And so we need to educate ourselves a bit more about what those opportunities are, and then we need to seize it. And then we
Yes.
need to show to our friends and families that, guys, there's enough room for all of us. It's not my little corner, and I'm
Yeah,
not going to tell you
yeah.
what I'm doing. No, there's enough room at the table because the opportunity is that big, and we need to take advantage of it.
So then, with that, two questions. You mentioned that there are opportunities to be seized. Someone would ask, what is at least one of those opportunities, or how do we leverage that opportunity? And where we began is it's not an either or, it's both. And people skilled in AI. When we say people who are skilled in AI, what skill are we talking about in AI? Because one
I
will
love
say,
that question.
I understand how to use ChatGPT. You know what I mean? And that's like a very at the AI at its most basic level. What is the skill in AI?
Okay, so there are a number of skills. What AI has done is it has leveled the playing field.
Yeah.
Where it's not about the color of your skin, it's not
Yes.
about where you live, it's about your ability to learn. That's all you have to do. Now, what should you learn? You want to learn things like prompt engineering,
Yeah.
which I mentioned in my talk. And it's you don't even literally need to go to some of these things. You don't even need courses to do. There are videos online. Like I inhale YouTube videos
Yes.
around AI, and that's how I've done most of my learning, because the information is changing so fast as well that you can't, if you say you're going to even buy a book, the book is out of date by the
Yeah.
time you walk out of the store. So the opportunities are, one, as I said, collect data. So what kind of data?
Yes.
One kind of data that people need to use to train the AI models is visual data. So one of the things that the AI models still don't do well is anything to do with dark skin,
Yes.
because a lot of it has been trained on white or light skin. So if you can begin to start collecting just videos of people doing different tasks, but people of different complexions doing the different tasks, you can sell that because people are actually buying data sets.
Right.
So you in your corner can sit down and say, I am going to just keep recording video after video after video of people doing certain actions. And you can sell it
Yes.
because we need African data. And you don't need a PhD to go and collect video data. You don't need any degree. You just need to collect it and make it available. So that's one really big opportunity around data. The second thing that I said, why I've said that it's leveled the playing field, is now we have gone beyond generative AI. We're now in the world of agentic AI.
Yes.
Which means that agentic AI is about using AI to help automate certain
Tasks, yeah.
things. You don't need any big knowledge to automate a task. What you need and the opportunity you have is you know the problem. And you standing here in South Africa will know that problem better than somebody standing in the US or
Yeah.
the UK. They'll never be able to see it. So if you have that insight and you can say, okay, let me help build an automation for this, go on YouTube, look at tools like N8N. Like there are platforms that you use
Yeah.
that you can use for free or for little to no money. That's where we start. So
Yeah.
I could keep talking, but
No,
I know it's not forever.
No, that's really great. I think that's a great place to start, because that'll often be the question: where do I start? What do I do next? What's the solution to this?
So can I just give you two
Yes,
platforms, like your
absolutely.
listeners, two things to really practically
Yes.
learn. So when it comes to building automation, so improving processes, which is
Yes.
where the money is now, there are two main platforms. One is called Make, like make.com. The other is called N8N, like the letter N, the number 8, and the letter N. So N8N.com. Just search for N8N. These two you can go on, for free, or a trial period, you can go on and you can actually start building your own automations. There are a ton of YouTube videos
Yes.
that walk you through how to do it. So the playing field is level.
Yeah.
Now you can sit here and you can sit down and automate anything for an agency
Yes.
or for anybody else. And it doesn't matter whether you're tall, short, fat, slim, black,
Yeah.
white, it's yours.
Yeah.
So practically, like I would advise people, spend time. YouTube should become your university,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
And just look at what people are doing, what they're talking about, and let that be your school.
Yeah, that's really great. But also there go all the videos of all the cats that I watch on YouTube now.
Let them go. Put them aside just for a while, like park
Yeah.
the cat videos for
Okay.
a bit.
Gillian, thanks so much for joining
are
us.
welcome.
We usually have a question that we ask our guests to leave for our next guest.
Oh,
And
okay.
one of our previous guests was Charlie Stewart, the CEO of Roger Wilco.
Okay.
And the question he left was, how can agencies ensure that client briefs are thoroughly interrogated while still leaving room for creative output?
Okay, how can agencies ensure that their briefs are thoroughly
Thoroughly
interrogated?
interrogated while leaving room for creative output. So the context he used was, a lot of the time, a lot of mishaps or things happen between receiving the brief from client, putting it through your processes as an agency, client processes, and then still having room for the creative output. So that becomes a bit of a challenge. How do we balance that, getting the brief correctly and still leaving room for creativity? Because sometimes if a brief's too tight, if it's taken a certain way, you don't have sufficient room to create.
His name was Charlie, right?
Yes.
Tell Charlie I said use AI.
Okay.
And now here's how
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
really going to answer that question. So where AI can help is it can do the first step of the journey for you, which is you have your brief. You can, when it comes to AI, there's what it feeds off is, let me call it a knowledge base, which is like a storehouse of, think of it as a folder or
Yes.
a filing cabinet of all the great briefs that you have done. You can give that information to AI and you can say, evaluate this brief against all the good ones that we
Yeah.
have done. Give me that feedback. So the thorough investigation, leave that to AI.
Right.
Then once it is done, give it to the creatives and let them be creative.
Yeah, well, back to that thing we were talking about clients cutting agency rates. I think that might be one of the issues, but we can talk about that issue separately. Gillian, thank you so much for
You are
joining
welcome.
us. Now it's your turn to leave a question for our next guest, and you can leave a question around anything to do with creativity, their creative process, the industry, marketing, or perhaps even life.
Maybe the question that I would ask would be, and I don't know who is coming next, but the question I would ask would be, how do they intend to effectively measure employee value in the age of AI? So how will they measure what their employees bring to the table
In the age of
in
AI.
spite of AI and alongside AI? Because one of the things that's happening now is when your employees are all using AI, how do you really see what they still bring to the
contributing.
table?
And also, how do you empower them to contribute more or
Exactly.
better, or
Exactly.
qualitatively?
Yeah.
Really great question. Gillian, thank
So
you so
it
much
was very nice.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.